Good evening to you from Dalymount Park for the replay of the FAI Harp Cup final. One of these two teams will lift the trophy tonight, even if it takes penalties to decide which. Now, Charlie McGeever is with me again this evening. Charlie went for Shelburne on Sunday. Are you sticking with that?
I think so, Dara. I think that obviously tonight the match has to be finished and we'll have to hope that we have goals. I think the extra couple of yards of width here at Dalymount will suit Shelburne's play, particularly the wide players who are well contained on Sunday, and we look forward to another good match.
Give me a score prediction.
I think I'll stick with 2-1 to Shels, Dara.
OK, 2-1 to Shels is Charlie's verdict. Teams about to come out on the pitch here at Dalymount, very close to kick-off. Let's join our big match commentary team of Owen Hand and first Jimmy McGee.
Thank you, Dara. Thank you, Charlie. We're about ready to welcome the sides onto the field. The Jody stand at Dalymount, as you can see, about half full in the shadow of St. Peter's Church here in Phibsborough on the north of Dublin City. One change, we'll be checking the teams presently, but one change from Sunday, and that's the young man Ray Kelly is tonight starting for Bohs, and Derek Swan is starting on the bench. But more about that anon. There's Paul Byrne, Bohs tonight in the yellow and blue piping. Kevin Hunt, you just saw a glimpse of there over the left shoulder of Tony O'Connor, and he is playing with a badly bruised foot tonight. And this, what is the fifth FAI Cup final replay in 5 years, and Shelburne have been involved in 3 of them. Just awaiting the word that everything is okay. This is the age of mobiles, headphones, earpieces, stopwatches, and you can tell them no. Nervous time for the players, Owen Hand.
Yeah, they just want to get out of that tunnel there. I mean, they've done their warm-up, and let's out there, let's at each other.
Well, I don't know what the reason is for the delay now. There may be people waiting to get into the ground out in the lane. But maybe that's the Shelburne team back in their old familiar red now. Yes, I'm glad to say that the problem is outside the ground. Why am I glad to say? Well, it shows that people are arriving late and they want to get in, and that's good for the overall attendance at the game. But for safety reasons, it's a good idea, and that is the reason the teams have been now sent back to their dressing rooms to wait. So that makes absolute sense. So the game will not be kicking off at 8:05. Now we're going to have a look at the teams, but we have a little more time than we thought you were. The start is going to be delayed something like 10 minutes to allow the people who are outside access to the ground. Owen, we'll get it ready. We'll have a look at the teams. Shelburne as the home team tonight, although, of course, as you know, Dalymount Park is the home ground of Bohemians. So maybe we can have a look at the Shelburne team. Dermot Keeley has no big secrets, no exact science. It's the same side that started on Sunday last, and if there was a surprise, there'd be a sensation, wouldn't it?
Well, that's right. It's the tried and trusted 4-4-2. Absolutely no changes for Dermot. That's the team that won in the league, essentially, with just the 1 or 2 maybe that came in for injuries when they were there. Dermot would have said, OK, lads, look at you blew the chance on Sunday to win it, the first attempt, but and because you underperformed. And I think that would be fair to say. You know, there were certain players there. I mean, for instance, now Desi and Richie Baker might have been a bit disappointed with their performance on Sunday. Pat Fenlon was shackled very well by Kevin Hunt. So he'd be just saying, listen, come on, just up the performance.
Well, he looks upbeat and pretty optimistic there, Dermot Keeley. He's been in so many cup finals he can't even keep count now. And he's not being blasé about it. Having a talk there to photographer Ray McManus, who has maybe seen more sports events than most of us. And we'll have a look at the Bohemians team. One change at the starting team. It was a sensation last Sunday at Tulka Park when Ray Kelly was left out. He came on and almost did a ray up the Rovers, and he's in from the start tonight on.
Yes, yeah, it was a big surprise on Sunday, but Roddy has gone for it. I mean, it'd be interesting to see if Gareth O'Connor does play in that little role in behind there. I fancy he might just play a straightforward 4-4-2, since it's back up at Dalymount, but we have to wait and see on that one.
Well, there you are. Time to peruse the Bohemians team. And you can see people still coming into the ground there. Dermot Keeley looks quite relaxed. Didn't get a shot of Roddy. I think he's down in the dressing room with his team. Bob Breen there, having a look at Fred Davis in the background. Great goalkeeper in this time at this club, among others. Charlie McGeever thought he was only going to get a few seconds before the start of this match tonight. Charlie, it pays to travel. Here he is with Dara.
Well, that's live television for you. The scene here at Dalymount Park. The game has been delayed by approximately 10 minutes. It was due, as we were saying, to kick off at 8:05, 8:15 approximately is the start time. We'll keep you in touch with that as things go on. Charlie McGeever is still with me. Charlie, what sort of an effect will that have on the players, first of all? They're stuck in the dressing room now. They've been told they were all geared up for an 8:05 start, and they've been told now that they have to wait. What will be going on in there?
Well, I think, Dara, that obviously players have their own set routine that they go through in a warm-up. They have a set routine they go through every week, most players, and I think when that's over, they expect to be going out to play. Obviously, these players are warmed up, they're stretched, they're ready to go, and mentally ready to start the match. Unfortunately, this 10-minute delay will have its effect, and particularly on the nerves. And it's what to do. It's a long 10 minutes may seem a short time, but in football terms it's quite a long time, and it's time that they're going to have to put to some use or other rather than playing idle.
Would you bring them back out on the field and let them have a little run around? I don't think that's happening. If you look behind us, that's not happening.
Funny thing about it, Dara, it was a common occurrence in Ballybofey in my time as manager. We have many matches put back by 10 or 15 minutes, and we always stayed in the dressing room. There would always be one or two smart lads in the dressing room that would throw a few jokes around, trying to settle things a little bit, and I think that's what will be happening. We have so many experienced players on both sides that I think it may not have as much an effect as one would feel.
OK, Charlie, well, the problem here at Dalymount Park is that people are arriving late at the ground. The Connacht Street entrance, if you're familiar with the area around Dalymount Park, is the problem. I think we can have a look at the Connacht Street entrance where there are thousands of people waiting to get in to Dalymount Park here. I have to say, coming up to our on-air time, which was just around 8 o'clock, I did think that the crowd here was a little bit small. We had around 9,000 people at Tolka Park for the original drawn match on Sunday, and there were large areas of the new Jody stand here at Dalymount Park which weren't full. That's what's happening at the moment. The people are coming in and the match has had to be delayed. Now we'll just see what's going on. Well, we have seen indeed what's going on out on Connacht Street. Charlie, what do you think now going back to Sunday? You've said that you're sticking with Shelbourne. They are still your fancy to lift this cup and indeed lift the double. Where are they going to win it tonight? You mentioned earlier about the wings and the wider pitch here at Dalymount.
Well, I think that we saw last week that Shels, some of their players didn't play up to scratch, and I feel that it wasn't a case that they weren't. I feel it was a case that they weren't allowed to. I think that Roddy Collins did his homework quite well. We were surprised by some of the decisions he made, particularly the mention of Ray Kelly, who starts tonight. But it worked for him for most of the match because he played what you would call a counter-attacking game, and it suited them very well. They made their best chances over the 90 minutes, and I think that, as we saw, Steve Williams was named man of the match. But as I thought it was a very good match, and I feel tonight, Dara, the crowd is going to show that. I think people want to come out to see a repeat of Sunday's match and maybe quieten some of the hags who felt that the match wasn't as good as it was. And hopefully tonight the goals will settle everybody and everybody will go home happy.
Well, what did you make of the criticism in some quarters of the national media? They said that this was not a good game, that the drawn game was not a good game.
Well, I think some of the scribes want to see goals. I think one of the points being made was that all the matches since 1995 had finished in a draw. But in drawn matches, even in no-score draws, sometimes they can be very intriguing matches. And I thought the tactical battle between the two managers last Sunday was very, very interesting. And we saw the game ebb and flow. First of all, we saw Shels start off at great pace, made a couple of great chances. Stephen Gagan actually could have scored on 2 different occasions and didn't. Then we saw Bohs take over, and we saw Steve Williams make those couple of great saves at the end of the first half. Second half, I thought Bohs owned most of the match, but again, I thought that Shels came back in the last 20 and dictated things and actually could have won it. And of course, we had that great save again in the last minute from Ray Kelly's header. I thought it had everything except the goals down. OK,
Charlie, let's just take a look at Joe McGlue, who's the FAI security officer. He's consulting with members of the Gardaí Síochána here at Dalymount Park. They are still trying to get people into the ground here so that they can start the match. And there's the scene inside down at the shed end. The Bohemians fans, well, most of them in. They've been in for quite a while, as have the Shelbourne fans down at the other end of the ground. Let's go back up to our commentary team and to the commentary box. Jimmy McGee again.
Thanks, Tara. Yes, it's a good complaint in one way to have people queuing to try and get in, cramming to get in, but Owen, you're of the opinion that this really shouldn't be happening.
Well, of course, I mean, it has to happen if there is any likelihood of anything that dangerous. We don't want a situation where we've had the terrible events of over in England, and we don't want to say, well, why wasn't it delayed? Just for the sake of a few minutes. But I mean, I just think it's a typical Dublin thing, if you like. I mean, leave it to the last minute, then sort of all rush in. It's a shame that we have to leave it so late. I mean, to get to a cup final.
Well, it looks as though the word is good. The teams appear to be getting ready now to come onto the field. You can see Joe Madlew down there, Chief of Security, John Stacey, the referee, Paul Murphy behind him, Kieran Delaney, and they are the officials tonight. The fourth official is Jim O'Neill from Waterford, a man carrying a famous name, nephew of the great Jono and son of Jimmy, both of whom, of course, played for Waterford. Pat Scully there, smiling Pat, gets married this summer, indeed I think maybe next month, as indeed does Steve Williams, his goalkeeper here. So that's the scene down in the tunnel there as the teams get ready, and here we are at our commentary position just over the halfway line. And as it gets a little nearer, you can imagine how excited the players are, especially as Charlie says, after that wait. But there's a lot of experience around on.
There is a lot of experience there, and I was having a chat with Pat Scully there. He's really keyed up, and they're actually keyed up to put on a performance. They're a little bit peeved about some of the criticism which Charlie referred to there. I thought was very harsh, and I think the players are conscious of that. They're conscious that they want to put on a show.
So they're about ready. You see Steve Williams, last Sunday's man of the match, just over. There he is, the tall man. Kieran Delaney, the assistant. Tony McCarthy, the blonde, smiling just behind Pat Scully. Just immediately behind Pat is Stephen Gagan. Paul Byrne leading out Michael Dempsey, Ray Kelly, Tony O'Connor, and the rest of Bohemians, and both teams get a superb welcome here onto the Dillymount Park turf to walk on the ground that's prepared by Paddy Deegan. And how proud Paddy is of this pitch. The weather has been superb in Dublin for the last few days, indeed all over the country, and so the ground could have been like a rock, but although there are a couple of little patches, I think all things considered on, it's not bad for this stage in May.
Oh, I mean, I've played in a few. Well, I played in one particular cup final here, and I've been in a lot. And I think this is the best it's been, of all the cup finals. So great credit to the groundsman that you mentioned there. Two good footballing sides. They want to get it down. Both of them want to get it down and knock it about, and no excuse with the surface.
There's Dave Campbell and Danny O'Leary and John Powell, the subs of Shelburne, on the left-hand side. And they're going to turn around and look at us now and look at the flag for Oranaveen. Change from last week. This man started on the bench. Today he starts where he wants to be, on the pitch. That super header near the end for Ray Kelly almost won the game for Bohemians, but Steve Williams was equal to it. That's Ray Kelly. Here's a man who was very, very close to being man of the match. His name isn't Des Kelly, by the way. It's Ivory John, who this weekend should be playing for Trinidad and Tobago against Haiti, but wanted to play in this cup final too. He can't be in two places at the one time, and the one he's chosen is here. And here's Kevin Hunt with a badly bruised right foot, which he sustained last Sunday. Very doubtful. He is playing with a painkiller here. Now, whether he lasts the whole game, I don't know, but his value as a technician, as a creative player, is vital to Bohs.
Oh, certainly. He is, as you said, he's a very important member of the Bohemians team. His role on Sunday was to shackle Pat Fenlon, and he did an excellent job of that.
There was the man of the match last Sunday, Steve Williams, the Welshman from Aberystwyth. Wonderful game he had. 3 superb saves from Brunton, from Byrne and from Kelly. Stephen Gagan has twice scored goals on this very ground in cup finals. So he knows what it's about. 4 times he was the league's top scorer here in our domestic football, Stephen Gagan. His brother plays tonight, and so does the redoubtable Paul Doolan. His 19th season in League of Ireland senior football, and looking for his 5th double. He's won 5 FAI Cups, 4 leagues. It's been 4 seasons in his time here at Bohs. He was 3 seasons at Rovers, and now, of course, he's very much a Shelbourne man. Paul Doolan. John Stacey is the man in charge. John's from Athlone. On his left-hand side is Paul Murphy from Athlone. On his right-hand side is Kieran Delaney. John had a great game at Tulka on Sunday. Paul Byrne and Pat Scully are the 2 captains as we prepare for the cup final replay of the year 2000. All right, toss it up, John. I'll go ahead. Captain of Shelbourne, Pat Scully. Look at that for style. Leroy Brown. Roddy Collins, the manager of Bohemians.
His favourite movie is Goodfellas.
Dermot Keeley hasn't gone for fancy suits or lovely shoes, but Dermot being Dermot, his heart will be there with it, just indeed as Roddy's is. We're about ready for the cup final replay. The lights are on, but you don't need lights as yet in Phibsborough and Dublin. Good luck to John Stacey, good luck to the 22 players, and let's hope they have and can produce a showcase event. It will be Bohemians to kick off. The man to watch when he kicks the ball with right foot will be Kevin Hunt. How sore is he? Here he is. Paul Byrne leaves it back to Tony O'Connor. Pat Scully comes and gets it. Well read by Scully. It was telegraph, mind you, but he just pushed everyone aside and came out and get it. Stephen Caffrey. There's good noise, there's good atmosphere here in the first half minute at Dalymount Park. That's Tony McCarthy's header. Caffrey was in there, and again to the head of Kelly. Coolness from Scully, but a throw-in for Bohemians near the halfway line. Scully and McCarthy have forged a marvellous partnership at the centre of Shelbourne's defence. Tony O'Connor's throw. Offside. Ray Kelly. Paul Murphy, the linesman or assistant referee on this side.
Interesting there for the long kicks up into the heart of the Shelbourne defence there. You've got Caffrey going up and Garrett O'Connor dropping into the midfield just to add that little bit of height.
Michael Dempsey takes the free kick. Cleared by Sean Marr. Shelbourne throw in. Lovely evening, just a little chillier than it has been for the past few days, but that's all relative. Lay off by Desi Baker. James Keddy, can he get it on his left foot? He can do better, he get it Richie Baker. And the block was made by Robbie Brunton. Good block, important challenge by Brunton. Shels come at them again. Peary and Doolan in the link-up. Oh, he's cursing his luck.
It's a lovely move, a lovely little set-piece move from the throw-in, but it's James Kelly just lays it in. He's tempting Richie to hit it first time, but he doesn't quite make up his mind, Richie. Perhaps it's too early in the game for him.
Meantime, the free had been taken, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. Stephen Gagan, now 29 years old, but still a terrific front player.
It's very similar to the Sunday start. You know, the Shels had the 2 early chances, and you just felt that if it was maybe 10 more minutes into the game, that Richie would have been a bit more composed.
That's Fenlon's header. Desi Baker. Gagan just could not get it under control. Caffrey can't either. It's Gareth O'Connor dispossessed by the ever-vigilant Scully. O'Connor to O'Connor. This is Tony with that name. Offside, Steve Caffrey. Stephen Caffrey, it's a good season for Bohemians. Began at Bohs 6 years ago.
I think he's under orders to make those runs and see if Paul Doolan will chase him.
Up goes Kenny. That's Hunt taking it down and cleared by Tony O'Connor. Underneath it is Scully. Brunton to tidy it up. Back to Dempsey. Hunt. Caffrey knocking it on, but Kelly was on the wrong foot coming back. Avery John picking up Stephen Gagan this evening. Good jump by Brunton. He's going to have some tussle with Richie Baker. Who comes out on top there could be the key to this match. Here's Doolan. To Heary. Brunton's first to it. Kelly. It was tight for him. It was difficult. Ray Kelly.
We have the little situation with Kevin Hunt. He's just following in on Pat Fenlon. Wherever Pat Fenlon's going, you have Kevin Hunt.
Here he's thrown. That's Hunt taking it down and playing it. Burns spun and cleared well. Mark Dempsey gave it to Kelly. Kelly gives it to Hunt. Hunt looks on the right for Paul Byrne, its skipper. Byrne looks for the ball through for O'Connor. O'Connor being challenged by McCarthy. And McCarthy did enough. But a very good piece of play by Bohemians, and Hunt was the instigator, 3 passes back.
Yeah, well, it'll finish up, but it's good cover by Tony McCarthy. He's very, well, you see the little shirt pulling there, but it's on the blind side of the referee. Got to be careful with that.
Kelly Waitsford taken short by Dempsey, trying to run it to Paul Byrne. Pat Fenlon, he gets back. It's another corner kick to Bohemians. Richie Baker back at a post. Here he picking up Kelly. And Mark Dempsey will take the corner kick. This time he goes for the penalty mark. Flashes right across, came off Tony McCarthy. 3 corners in a row. Well, the Bohs fans are enjoying this right underneath their noses here. And yet another corner. Heary with Kelly. Kelly standing in front of the big Steve Williams. He's the biggest man around there. Looking for Dempsey. Paul Byrne went out to take the corner on the left-hand side, but a very brisk start to the game. And both sets of players, just like Sunday, obviously all out to entertain and, most important for them, compete. Brisk start on.
Yeah, it's a lovely, there's a lovely sharpness about Bohemians there, inventive play as well there. You know, the corner kicks, a lovely delivery in by Mark Dempsey from this side here, and then the other side, Paul Byrne playing the short one to get Mark Dempsey in.
Ball was moving there, so he will have to take it again. Nothing untoward. Brunton wins it again. He started well against Richie Baker. That's Desi Baker. This is Avery John. Now Pat Fenlon. Covering player is the man from Trinidad and Tobago. Avery John. 24 years old. Came from the Boston Bulldogs in September to Daleyman Park. Dermot Keeley hopes his team is up for it this evening. He looked at the tape, he was telling me last night of Sunday, and he didn't think they were as sharp as they had been at most times of the season. But again, that's all relative. That was Robbie Brunton putting it through. Here he got it out a piece. Down to Desi Baker. Turned well, didn't he? Spun beautifully. Out to Keddy. Coming down on Keddy's left here presently is Declan Gagan. But the cover was supplied by Byrne. It plays it off the Shels man, and it's a Bohemians throw in. Throw in for Tony O'Connor and Bohemians. Declan Gagan's headed came off. Here's Doolan back.
I think we see a quicker game here tonight, Jimmy. You know, if you look at Sunday's conditions, the pitch was magnificent in Tulka Park, but the grass was that little bit longer. Of course, it was the dew and evening game. We all know, you know, the ball moves a bit faster in the evening, and of course the grass is shorter here.
Tony O'Connor's throw. That was Gareth O'Connor. Tony O'Connor. Here he hears the call from Williams. He made the keeper do a bit of work, but it's better to be wide of the frame, of the goal frame, than anywhere else, and he sees the funny side of it. Brunton is first to it again, but Baker gets up. Smaller man. Desi, his brother, was chasing up as Stephen Gagan made the assist. Throw for Richie Baker and for Shelburne. Here's Desi Baker. Owen Heary to make it cross. Cleared by Hunt. This is Paul Byrne. Garrett O'Connor wants it to feet. He gives it to Hunt to feet. Scully, the covering player, as Caffrey making a lot of forward runs this evening. Steve Caffrey.
Yes, I do think he's under instructions there. You know, whenever it's on, you know, it goes up to the front man, and when it comes back, then he's told to make that run, sort of time it there. The cover was excellent that time from Pat Scully.
Sean Maher getting there before Desi Baker. Paul Byrne did very well in control. Hunt is the backup, and he started well. Bruised foot he may have, but he's certainly not bruising his intelligence. Good brisk start by Bohemians. Here's Dempsey. Back to Brunton. Brunton looks for Gareth O'Connor. Great close control by O'Connor. He always has. He has taken two to stop him. Terrific run, and the third man is Paul Doolan. Oh, great piece of play by Gareth O'Connor. Here's Tony McCarthy under pressure. Declan Gagan clears it. Hunt is onto it now for Bohemians. Tony O'Connor. Hunt again. Kelly tries to get it under control. It's Declan Gagan that sweeps it away. But that was instigated by a brilliant piece of play by Gareth O'Connor.
Yeah, it's a lovely bit of skill here. You see he's taking on Pat Scully, the little fella against the big fella. And it's, you know, the cover is there from Owen Heary, but he just gets the run in here, in between the two of them. But it's Paul Doolan, you see, just coming in here in an excellent cover position.
Keddy gets it away. Desi Baker, Pat Fenlon. Pat Fenlon down the line for Keddy. Look at the pace of Avery John. Just in case, but Dempsey's there. And Fenlon goes for it. What we used to call the Pele effort, which he did once against Czechoslovakia in a World Cup. Keeper off the line, but it doesn't work for Nutsy, as they call him. Pat Fenlon.
Well, you're the memory man. Czechoslovakia. You see here, the keeper makes a bit of a mess of it. Pat Fenlon, yes, he's intelligent. He tries it. It was well worth a go, but he just curls it across that goal.
Both sides have come on this Dalymount Park pitch to attack in this cup final replay. There's no hidden agenda here. Both teams really wanted that. Push by McCarthy on Caffrey.
So that's the tactic, as I say, pushing up Stephen Caffrey and Gareth O'Connor just for those long ones, which is it makes all sorts of sense.
Sean Maher is the player at the ball, waiting for three to get up. Tony O'Connor left with it. Gareth O'Connor, Paul Byrne. There's a pass too many. Doolan takes it down. Unlike Paul, just couldn't supply the pass. But he's had a brilliant season.
Excellent cover by that man there, and that break down the left-hand side.
Tony O'Connor, the throw in for Bohs. He wanted a bit of movement off the ball. Ray Kelly got a piece on it. Here's Scully. Out to Keddy. Byrne. Tony O'Connor takes it back. Again, it's a Bohemians ball, and again, it's the club captain, Tony O'Connor, to take it. Here is O'Connor. Little one through for Gareth O'Connor, chance! Pulled it right across the face of the goal. It was a terrific effort by by the O'Connors in tandem, but Gareth O'Connor will curse his luck when he looks at this video.
Yeah, Tony McCarthy was just caught napping here. He just made a little run in behind Tony, and Tony was caught flat, and it was a chance. He just pulled it across the goal. You see Tony here? Gareth O'Connor makes a little run in behind him.
It was the sweetest of passes by Tony O'Connor. And well read too by Gareth. Unfortunately, he couldn't furnish the finish. Here's Heary for Shelburne. Cut out by Tony O'Connor. He to Paul Byrne. Tony O'Connor again. Pat Scully covering. Declan Gagan's header. Kevin Hunt's header. Kevin was fouled by Fenlon. Free kick, Bohemians. It's gone through to Kelly. Can he score? And a brilliant save again by Williams. Was the ball dead? No, it wasn't. According to Paul Murphy, the assistant on this side. And Shelburne tried a counter-attack. Ray Kelly on the scent of a 6th goal in this cup campaign. And just like Sunday, denied by the Welshman Williams. Stephen Gagan gets it across to Desi Baker. He's inside. John and the goalkeeper on one side does it. Michael Dempsey can do it on the other. This is an entertaining cup final. How about it?
Well, it's great goalkeeping by both sets there. There's excellent here when you see. Look at it. Desi is shaping it up there. The keeper's out so quick. If he didn't come out that quick, that was a great chance.
Great save, Michael Dempsey. How about this one from Williams?
Well, I just felt that, he took the wrong option, Ray Kelly. Although you've got to give the goalkeeper credit.
Here's the corner, swinging across. Michael Dempsey has it safely. 24-year-old, under 21 international, Michael Dempsey. In the 16th minute of the game, it's been a rip-rolling replay. That's Tony McCarthy. It spins away, too far away from Healy. Here's Dempsey. Didn't quite play it where he wanted to play. And Gareth O'Connor slipped in trying to go for it. Tony O'Connor. Intercepting the clearance from Declan Gagan. Good work, O'Connor, brought down by McCarthy. For a moment I thought John Stacey was going to go for his card. I'm glad you didn't, John.
No, I think he's keen to continue on the performance that he had on Sunday. That is John Stacey in an excellent game.
No doubt Tony O'Connor was brought down. He talks to the players, John Stacey. Treats them well. Tony O'Connor to Paul Byrne. Left it very tight on the ball back. And Declan Gagan got in for a toe cap on it. What a pace in the game. Desi Baker loses out here to Byrne. Richie Baker. Caffrey. Clash between Heary and Brunton. Brunton gets there first. But he had to snatch at it. Goal kick.
Well, I just said there was a lovely sharpness about Bohemians' play, with the corner kicks we mentioned there, and there was a great example of that free kick that was taken so quickly. And the opposite to Sunday, you have Shels' backline looking a little bit, the composure is not there that we've seen all season.
Roddy Collins and Dermot Keeley, the men in charge of the respective teams. That's Heary. Out to Richie Baker. As always, Robbie Brunton right beside him. 2 Baker brothers on the Shelbourne team, 2 Gagan brothers on the Shelbourne team, 2 non-brother O'Connors on the Bohemians team. This is Robbie Brunton. Spell with Stoke City, Sligo, Coleraine. He's been around. Still a young man, 26 or thereabouts. Gareth O'Connor enjoying this role behind the front players. Baker feeds Gagan. Gagan looks for the one into the middle, and it's Marr. Sean Marr, very quick centre back. Really quick player. It's so pacey this, we haven't even time to set up the replays for you. There's action non-stop at Daleyman Park. McCarthy stretches across, Kelly stretches too, and it needed Gagan's intervention to be sure. That's Brunton again, he's played a lot of ball. Here's Heary. Stephen Gagan. Richie Baker had made the run, Desi Baker had made the run, and Dempsey sweeps.
What you're not likely to see here is...
That's Marr clearing it away. It's one of those games, Owen can't even form a sentence and there's another piece of action.
Yeah,
now you can.
I was going to make the point, what you won't see here is Desi Baker and Stephen Gagan getting the run on those 2 defenders, Avery John and Sean Marr, because they are 2 pacey centre-backs. They'll have to be using a little bit of ingenuity and sort of teasing them around to get them into false positions, but they won't outrun them.
And they're both quick, the Bakers. But so, as Owen says, are Marr and John. There's Avery John with Stephen Gagan. Up goes Tony McCarthy. Marr's clearance. Reaches Gareth O'Connor. Trying to get out to Mark Dempsey. It's Owen Heary there. And it's safer in the stand. On the replay tonight, it's Shelbourne's home game, but they gave Bohs use of the normal home dressing room. Scully. Gagan can't control it. Sean Marr can. There's no out ball here for Dempsey. He's got to wait for a second, get it under control. Caffrey, Peter Paul Byrne, came off Scully. Gareth O'Connor behind. Heary. Richie Baker. Paul Doolan. Avery John with Desi Baker. There's an elbow rising.
There's a little indication there, it was a build-up play, and it was Stephen Gagan who came very, very deep into his own half, and it was Avery John that followed him all the way. But then it was James Keddy, when Stephen Gagan laid it off, it was James Keddy that filled in his position. So Shels trying to get the movement to get going.
Tony McCarthy's clearance. Up goes Avery John. Winning it from Richie Baker. Now Scully. Kelly. But a bit too much meat on it. And Caffrey brings down James Keddy. And here is the first card of the match. And it's yellow for Stephen Caffrey.
Again, it was James Keddy who'd come inside, away from his wide position, who picked up that ball there.
Pat Fenner on the free kick, and he is an expert in this department. Pat Scully up for it, Tony McCarthy up for it. 2 formidable men in the air. It's going towards McCarthy. One, and well won by Caffrey for a foul he committed himself. Here is Hunt. Hunt lets Dempsey loose. Ahead of Dempsey got Paul Byrne right on the right and on Mark. Ray Kelly has wandered offside, but that's going to be a booking for Pat Fenner, I think. We'll know that presently. the Players' Player of the Year, Pat Fenlon, has fallen foul of John Stacey.
Well, Mark Dempsey he was in full flight there, and you can see I don't think that Pat Fenlon had any complaints at all. It was a deliberate block there, and an important one. That's fair to say too, from Shelbourne's point of view.
Now the angle might suit a man who can swing the ball off his right instep, and such a man is Paul Byrne. Here's Byrne. Not right, the referee not happy with that. Just come back, lads. Another pace.
Bohs will be very disappointed there, because you can't use that little free kick again, the one outside the wall. Not right now, anyway.
Caffrey goes near post. There was too much pace on it as Avery John read it at the far post.
Paul Byrne just got too much on that free kick.
Won by Marr. Started this match splendidly at the heart of Bohs' defence. Here's Hunt. And Hunt is fouled by Doolan. Paul Byrne was intervening. This is up to John Stacey to cool the tempers here.
Yeah, well,
Doolan made the foul. He can have no argument.
Yeah, Paul Doolan came in with the right elbow there, and John Stacey again, excellent referee, and he's right beside it.
So Shelbourne's midfield axis, Fenlon and Doolan, have both been booked in the last couple of minutes. Sean Marr will take the free kick for Bohemians. Gareth O'Connor, faced by Declan Gagan. He's got the trickery and he's got the pace, but he hasn't got the ball. Now, why was Paul Doolan booked? This reason.
Well, you see here the right elbow. You see there, it's a nasty one, and John Stacey is right beside it there.
It's Paul Byrne who came in to try and act the captain's role for Bohs, but a little maybe over the top. Interesting that Kevin Hunt started this game with a bruised foot. He may have a bruised jaw now as well. Number 2, Tony O'Connor. Tony's cross. Scully came out for it, didn't get a definite touch on it. Claims there for handball, rather. Away goes Owen Healy, galloping down that wing as he's done so often this season. Into Richie Baker. Covering player is Pat Scully. Here's Gareth O'Connor. Takes it back from Brunton. Looks for the cross. Paul Byrne was coming in, and there was a timely clearance by Keddy. Caffrey. Keddy clears it. Over the heads of Desi Baker and Tony O'Connor. Marr to Avery John. Look at the pace and the strength of this man. Getting away from Desi Baker, no foul. Here's Richie Baker. Support player is Fenlon. The next player is Gagan Declan. Down the line to Keddy. Through for the brother Stephen Gagan. Avery John with him. James Keddy to try and make the cross. Deflected off Tony O'Connor. Corner kick. Well, what an opening to a cup final.
They're very, very lively out, but just that last little passage there, Shels want to be doing more of that. You know, that's when they were getting it down the Shelbourne way, if you like. So they're getting it to feet up to the front, back wide, succeeding in the block, leading to this corner kick.
One more time, Scully and McCarthy are up there. It's Desi Baker's a nice flight on the ball, and it's a terrific clearance by Mark Dempsey. Out to Tony McCarthy. And he had time to cross it. Comes to Doolan, scuffs it a bit. Still have a chance here. Baker crossing it, and Tony O'Connor. That was intended for his brother Desi, I think. Bohs on the break with Hunt. Hunt up to Kelly. Kelly to Dempsey. He looked for a moment as though he thought he was offside. He was not. Gareth O'Connor. One good challenge. And then one foul one. Free kick to Bohemians. And this is Paul Byrne's department. It was Tony O'Connor taking this virtually off the line.
Yeah, it's a lovely, it's great composure, because he could easily have skied that into his own net. It's not his kicking foot, his favourite foot.
Great player, and he always has been in the context of our domestic football, Tony O'Connor. Pat Fenlon organising, Stephen Gagan, Richie Baker in the wall as well, Doolan of course, Williams the keeper. And now, what have they concocted on the training ground here? 3 is Brunton, 4 is Hunt. The man whose number we can't see is Paul Byrne, the captain. 11 is Mark Dempsey. Dempsey, I think, might be a decoy here for a Byrne shot. Byrne hits it with tremendous power, and it's blocked away by Declan Gagan. And Bohs try again with Gareth O'Connor taking Richie Baker out to him. Now it's Dempsey. Dempsey cutting into the box. Here's Hunt. Beautiful control. Lovely balance by Hunt. But right into the abdomen of Steve Williams. But this fella may be bruised, but he's having a terrific game again on.
Yeah, well, you know, the left foot, it's not his kicking foot, but he scored the goal against Bray. You see here, he just takes it so confident here. Just drifts inside the penalty area and just sees it, looks up, and just goes for power. But Steve Williams, his position is very good.
Declan Gagan can't channel it inside. Bit of a wild jump by Dempsey, and that's a free kick. Richie Baker and Mark Dempsey in a version of the Phibsborough love-in. Pat Fenlon at the ball. Pat Scully with Sean Maher pushing, shoving. That's all part of the course. It happens in hundreds of grounds around the world every week. In goes from Fenlon, got a touch on it there with the big Scully, but saved by Dempsey. There's so much happening. Darren Maloney.
Yes, Jimmy, Dermot Keeley has just had words with his midfielder Pat Fenlon. He wants him to be much, much closer to Kevin Hunt of Bohemians.
Because Hunt is exercising an influence. You would not think that this man had painkillers 15 minutes before the match.
But he doesn't have to request that when he's in possession, because Kevin Hunt is close to him, that's for sure.
That's Tony McCarthy. Tony O'Connor from Declan Gagan. Declan Gagan playing like a young fella, and isn't he only young at 35? McCarthy's throw to the head of Tony O'Connor. That's Fenlon missing out. Paul Byrne. Doolan. Doolan competitive as ever. But the one thing to remember about this game is that Doolan and Fenlon at the heart of Shels midfield cannot afford a misdemeanor anymore in this match, or they'll be off. They're both on a yellow.
It actually shows you how competitive it is in there. Of the 4 midfielders in that middle of the park, there's 3 of them have got the yellow. Stephen Caffrey being the other one.
Yes, it's tough and hard in the engine room in Phibsborough tonight. Here's Richie Baker. His brother Desi, a bit of shirt pulling. And the cross will reach Keddy. Needs support. Desi Baker is the nearest player forward. Here's Declan Gagan. Away by Hunt again. Now it's Scully. Richie Baker. Scully kept going forward, but the pass isn't good enough to find him, and it's a goal kick.
Stephen Gagan got into a great position there, but unlike him, it wasn't a good cross here. See, Richie plays it into him here, and it's a lovely turn. As Desi just plays it in, Desi Baker, and he makes the... See, there's too much on it. You would expect him just to pull it back there. You had Paul Doolan.
Michael Dempsey's goal kick. Scully jumping forward with Caffrey. There's Richie Baker. Now Brunton to Hunt. Kelly, a lovely layoff. A very tricky O'Connor, but he can't get the better of McCarthy. Darren Maloney, what's new this time?
Yes, Jimmy, well, Roddy Collins wants Paul Byrne to push on the right side. He's getting a lot of space down the right, and Collins clearly wants to exploit that.
There is the man who passed on the message about which Darren Maloney reported. Baker to Baker. Richie on the ball, or about to be. Goes early for it, it's a good cross. Well, James Kelly had the chance to be a Reds hero. The ball came at him so quickly, though.
It's a great cross by Richie Baker. Now, this is Richie Baker at his best. Look at this. He really whips it right across the face of the goal there. And it comes across to James Kelly. He doesn't quite get the full meat of the boot on it. Just sort of bobbles it back into the keeper.
Here's Marr, thundering strength of Sean Marr, allied to skill, wide to O'Connor. This is Gareth O'Connor receiving from Dempsey. He teases and he taunts would-be challengers. It's back to Brunton. Brunton to Avery John. He to Tony O'Connor. We can have another look from another angle at this possible chance for James Keddy.
Yeah, well, you see, like, I mean, it's come across so quick here, and James Kelly is not expecting it. Comes off the deck so quick, and he doesn't know whether to hit it first time or just take it down and hit it second, with the second touch. He finishes up actually doing nothing.
That's Marr. It's a fairly hefty challenge by here on Dempsey. As Tony McCarthy swings it away. Tony O'Connor with the throw in. In the middle there between the two Shels players was Ray Kelly. Now it's Fenlon. Richie Baker going right at the heart of Bohs' defence, thinking of a shot. But Dempsey saw the read. This is Brunton. Scully. Doolan. Keddy can't control it. This is Tony O'Connor. Bohs captain Byrne. Lovely spin and turn and control by Gareth O'Connor, trying to lip one in for Mark Dempsey. And Dempsey's going to be in here. And it's Pat Scully again. Marvellous captain for Shelbourne. Great centre-half too.
But watch the play from Gareth O'Connor here. It was before this lovely little turn there. It's a delicate little ball, just played inside Richie Baker there. Mark Dempsey's looking to cut it across the goal, but Pat Scully gets back in time.
Now Bohs' chance. Caffrey was jumping in for it there. Mara was up with the front players. Back out to Paul Byrne. Dempsey's cross. Doolan is at the back post waiting for it. Up to Desi Baker. Took it under control very well. Doolan plays it first time to Stephen Gagan. Great turn away from the jersey pull of Marr. Out to Desi Baker. Down the line for Gagan. Marr the covering player. Bohs have 5-man goal side now. Stephen Gagan waiting for auxiliaries in the box. Back to his brother Declan. Just got too much on it. But a great piece of play by his brother Stephen Gagan to hold it up there. It's Kevin Hunt. Tony O'Connor. Paul Byrne. Tony O'Connor again. Over the head of McCarthy. But a little bit of the evening dew, and a little slip there by Ray Kelly as he tried to get onto it. Williams goes for length this time. That's a good takedown there by Gagan. Fenlon, but Richie Baker was back, just caught in a deep position and couldn't make the run. But he's really played well. He's been on the ball, shielded it well, and probably getting the better of Avery John.
Well, you know, he certainly has been looking very sharp tonight, Stephen, but you know, you still think that, you know, Bohs, I feel, are playing the better to their system. Shels haven't really got moving as well as they have been sort of, you know, so smooth all season. And I think there's an awful lot to do with the midfield battle, because I feel just at this moment it's Caffrey and Hunter winning that one.
Up goes McCarthy to Keddy. Desi Baker. Keddy kept on going. Here's the chance now. Gagan in the middle. He let it go. Here's Fenlon. Pat Fenlon, the Players' Player of the Year, and Shelburne leads the cup final.
Well, you know, it's a tremendous run by Pat Fenlon. We were talking about the battle between himself and Kevin Hunt, but the ground he makes up here, you watch this here, it's a lovely ball, it gets James Keddy away, and he gets a great ball in, but it's the run that Pat Fenlon is making to get in there. Watch Kevin Hunt trying to get in touch, but he just is that split second too late. What a battle between those two, and what a great run.
Super layoff here by Stephen Gagan, brilliant football, and the run and the finish was excellent from Fenlon. Shels lead 1-0 at Dalymount Park, the goal in the 39th minute.
And you know, we were talking about the midfield battle and that the Bohs are on top, but when you've got a player as experienced as Pat Fenlon, that's what he can do.
Scully's headed clearance. Hunt. Fenlon again. There was a bit of a high challenge there from Caffrey. Stephen, be careful, you're in yellow. That's a terrific finish. It's the run that made it. The run that made it, the read that made it, but a brilliant piece of play by Stephen Gagan.
Absolutely, he is. You know, he really is looking sharp. But again, I've got to, you know, I can't help but keep on saying about Pat Fenlon. He hasn't been anything. Last Sunday too, you know, when Kevin Hunt put him out of the game, you might say, but he's such a little fighter, and you know, he saw the opportunity. He doesn't quit on it, and he went, and he's rewarded with a very good goal.
Up to Kelly. Needs support. He's got it with Caffrey. Another look at the goal. That leaves the position at the moment. We have a rich Desi Baker. We have James Keddy. We have Stephen Gagan. And we have the goal scorer. 1-0. Four minutes to half-time at Dalymount Park, plus whatever will be added on by referee John Spacey. Doolan. Marr. Back in again by Baker. Looking here. Desi Baker. Stephen Gagan this evening is looking as sharp as he's ever looked. Brilliantly controlling the ball. As a target man, as an assist. And he loves this ground, obviously. Gagan back to Doolan. Here's Avery John. Foul by Declan Gagan. John to Tony O'Connor. Takes on Des Baker. John. Brunton's on his left if he needs him. He's calling Brunton on. And Bohs have 5 men in forward positions now waiting for a pass. Marr. Kelly's made a little run, so has Gareth O'Connor. That was Keddy, back to Declan Gagan. Can't find Desi Baker.
This is a real test of character for Bohemians, because they feel a bit hard done by. When they're playing very well, they were taking the game too, Shels, and they're really hit with a killer blow there.
Paul Doolan. Desi Baker goes to canvas. Free kick to Shelburne with about 2 minutes of normal playing time to half time. Scully stays back, but Tony Mack will go forward. They're leaving it, Richie Baker's leaving it to Fenlon to take. Out came Brunton, full pelt at it. Gareth O'Connor. Kelly takes it down. Mark Dempsey. Brunton. Good interception, wasn't it, by Heary? Here's Paul Doolan. Looking for Desi Baker. There's terrific battles, little matchups all over the pitch here. This is Desi Baker getting the better of Marr. And the free's been given. That's another terrific tussle. It's a match that's full of those. Brunton against Richie Baker. Desi Baker against Marr. Fenlon against Hunt.
Yeah, it's a lovely little turn by Desi Baker there.
Stephen Geoghegan's making a run for the near post. He's checked out of that. Fenlon's at the ball. Tony McCarthy jostling with Caffrey. Now we can have it. There's a lot of movement. And that was James Keddy. Over the top and wide.
James Kelly was just a little bit too shallow there. He wanted to be coming onto that. He had to readjust. Consequently, he had to snatch at the ball and pull it over.
It's half-time at Dillyman Park. A pulsating first half. It's really been outstanding, and it's a game that deserved the goal, and I've got it thanks to that man, Pat Fenlon. 6 minutes from half-time. Shelburne lead 1-0. And here it is again, the goal that separates two sides in the evening night at Phibsborough. It was a good one, on.
It was a great goal. It was a lovely little build-up down that left-hand side, but Pat Fenlon has come from the halfway line to get in there. I mean, he doesn't know he's going to come across. He's taking a chance.
Shelburne go off a happy lot. I should imagine the manager will have nice things to say to them. But Roddy Collins will be disappointed with the scoreline, but he won't be disappointed, I think, with the overall performance of this side. An evening of thorough commitment from both. At half-time, Shelburne 1, Bohemians 0.
Welcome back to Daily Man. Quite a weekend of sport ahead. First of all, the Premiership tomorrow night, 10:25, RTE1, Arsenal, Chelsea, Wimbledon, Villa and Leicester, Bradford City, the featured matches. Saturday 2:15 from Toulouse, indeed from Bordeaux. It's Toulouse against Munster, the semi-final of the Heineken European Rugby Cup. Spanish Grand Prix weekend, qualifying tomorrow at 11:55 on 1. The race is on Sunday at 12:20, also on RTE1. Live on Sunday at 3:30, the National Football League final, Derry Meath, live from Croke Park. And highlights of that included in Sunday Sport at 10 o'clock on Sunday night on Network 2, Meath Derry NFL final. And then from the Leinster Championship, it's championship time already, hard to believe, Wexford against Longford. Now, we've had quite a first half here at Dalymount Park. It's Shelburne who have the lead, and Charlie McGeever is with me. Charlie, what did you make of the first half?
Oh, cracking game altogether, Dara. I thought, again, a better game than last Sunday. I thought Sunday was a very good match, but we've had end-to-end stuff, so many goal chances, and the fact that John Stacey decided not to add on not even a second of extra time at half-time shows just how much the game was in flow.
Let's have a look at the story of the first half, starting with Pat Fenlon's goal.
Yes, Pat Fenlon's goal is the one that separates the two sides. Desi Baker doing extremely well to put in James Keddy. James Keddy's ball across, laid off by Richie Baker, and a great finish from Pat Fenlon. Fenlon, the man who's been struggling, I felt, at half-time, in the first half, in the Shels midfield, but in the right spot. How often has he done this in the National League? Super finish.
Charlie, were you surprised that the game went so long without a goal?
I was. It was a bit like last Sunday, Dara, where the chances were plentiful. But I mean, Kevin Hunt, I feel, has been the main man in the midfield for Bohs in the first half, and yet the irony of it all is that Pat Fenlon is the man to put Shels ahead.
Absolutely. Well, just before that, there was the instruction from Dermot Keeley, as you may have heard, to get tighter on Kevin Hunt, and he pops up and scores the goal. Now, Gareth O'Connor has been particularly impressive for Bohemians. Let's have a look at him in action.
Yes, again, I thought that young O'Connor has done exceptionally well. He's playing a little bit behind Kelly in the front line, and Shels haven't really been picking up very well. Great bit of skill, a great strike across the goals, and again, I still think that Williams may have got a hand to that, or could have got a hand to that, but again, we see Kevin Hunt putting the ball in, good timing on his run by O'Connor, good strike first time, and just missed the far post.
This is some great bit of skill from Gareth O'Connor as well, Charlie.
He did this quite often on last Sunday, so he did, Dara. And again, we see him cutting in between the two players, using his pace, trickery on the ball. We see one on the ground, cutting inside, takes on Doolan, and Doolan has cut across him. But he's been doing that continually in the first half, for most of the first half.
Now, Ray Kelly has been a man who's determined to make an impression for Bohemians. He was so disappointed on Sunday to be left out of the Bohemian starting 11. He had a good chance as well, Charlie.
He did indeed. This was the one time in the first half that I felt Shels got caught. They were sleeping on this quick feed from Caffrey, as far as I know, and he's got time. Should have finished here, really, but Williams, to be fair, got down a little early, but still made himself big enough, a la Schmeichel, to make the angle and make sure that he didn't score. Again, Kelly, as we say, he's been a thorn in their attack in the first half.
What have you made of the contribution of the two Bakers for Shelbourne here this evening?
Well, I think in the first 15 minutes, or first half hour, Bohs were so much on top in the middle of the park that really the supply wasn't there, and that is how Bohs went about cutting out their supply. But in the last 15 minutes we saw Richie Baker getting 2 or 3 crosses over, could have scored one, and then we saw Desi making that goal and having a chance himself, which he didn't take. And only in the last 15 minutes have we seen Shels at their true best.
Earlier chance, Charlie.
Here we have it again.
Desi.
Yes, Desi coming in, and again Dempsey doing it, to credit to Dempsey, Michael Dempsey, for getting across early and keeping his goal intact.
Very good. Well, I think we can look at another Baker chance as well, can we? Let's have a look at this for Charlie. Okay. Well, let's go on to James Keddy. We'll have a look at his opportunity, and this was a good opportunity.
Yeah, I think this is the first time that we saw Richie Baker really causing problems on the right wing. Takes his time, picks out the cross, decent cross, misses everybody, and really, I thought that Keddy could put that away. But again, Dempsey was going one way, has come back to collect the pass, and again, both keepers have done their work.
Charlie, how do you think the second half is going to go? Big mountain to climb for Bohemians. They did play so well in the first half, but they're still behind.
Well, I think it's typical Shelbourne, isn't it? They've done this so often in the league. They've sat back, they've taken all that Bohs have thrown at them. Traditionally, Bohs go at teams at Dalymount in the first 20 minutes, but I thought Scully and McCarthy in the centre defence have earned their corner in the first half hour, heading numerous balls away, kept a clean sheet, and at the other end we get the great classic counter-attack, Baker putting in Keddy for the cross, and the step over, and we have Fenlon there to put them away. You would have to fancy, like we said at the beginning, Shels at this stage with the goal ahead. They've kept so many clean sheets over the season. But it's up now to Collins now to come in, Roddy come out now and change things a little, and maybe try and get a goal, maybe change the front line a little bit and bring in an extra attacker to try and get the goal back.
Charlie, what about the speed of the game? It's something that you mentioned to me about 20 minutes in, the pace of it. It was non-stop. Jimmy McGee mentioned it in his commentary. Will that affect one or the other, do you think, as the game goes on?
Well, I think we made a point, from what I remember, Darren, of last Sunday, where I thought Bohs slackened off in the last 15 minutes. I thought they were a little bit dead on their feet in certain areas. Now tonight they've put so much into that half. They have nothing to show for it. The pressure is going to be on them. The onus is on them to go and get this goal, get the equaliser. And I think it may tell in the end. But again, this is where Roddy's tactical ability comes in, where he's going to have to make sure that he changes players that are tired and he gets the formation right for the second half.
OK, Charlie, for the moment, thank you. It should be a fascinating second half. We'll have it for you live here after this commercial break. Welcome back to Dalymount. Second half about to get underway. Charlie, you've got one goal. Do you see two more for your prediction to come through?
Well, I think, Dara, the Bohs are going to throw everything at them. In that case, I think we'll see Shels at their best, counter-attacking. I think there are more goals in this game. Hopefully, for our sake, Bohs will get the equaliser and make it a better game. But I think if Shels get the second, it's all over and done with. Should
be a cracker. The first half has been good. Second half, for that commentary on that, let's go back up to Jimmy McGee and Owen Hand.
Well, there's the night scene at Phibsborough. There's the man whose goal separates the teams, Pat Fenlon, having a chat with Paul Doolan, two great veterans of this Shelbourne team. But from where I stand, they're only young fellas. Nice crowd. Both teams back on the field now. We wonder if Roddy Collins will make any changes. We'll find out presently.
Roddy, what did you say to your players at half-time?
Just the way we started the game, be composed, take your time, no big rush, there's only one goal in it, you know, we'll get a chance.
Did you make any changes?
No, we don't need to. I thought we played extremely well. Just caught out on the one break, but that's football.
Thanks, Roddy.
Look at that for a sprint, huh?
Actually, it's a fair comment by Roddy. You know, there's a bit of common sense coming from him there. Like they did play well. They were caught out in the one little break, but you know, again, the excellent run by Pat Fenlon and Kevin Hunt, who was having a great game, just didn't track him in time.
Well, so far there are so many outstanding performers in this match. For example, Stephen Gagan, Sean Marr, Gareth O'Connor, Pat Fenlon, Kevin Hunt. Now, we had a delay at the start of the game because of crowd outside, and the delay now is because the net has come loose from its bottom there, and it was well spotted by the assistant referee, so that's why they're checking. You know the man fixing the net? Wayne Russell, the reserve goalkeeper of Bohemians, a Welshman from Cardiff. Good man, Wayne. I know you're tall, but my goodness, I didn't know you were that tall.
There's no truth in the rumour he was the one that loosened it. He just wanted to get he wanted to get on no matter what.
Well, he may be on the bench tonight, but it'll go down in a piece of history, and here's the video to prove it. Who played in goal for Bohemians but didn't actually play in the match? Wayne Russell.
Oh, Jimmy, when you were mentioning performances in the first half, there's been so many excellent ones. You know, it's going to be difficult to pick a man of the match here.
The man who provided the piggyback was Glenn Crowe, top scorer for Bohs this season. So he's getting in on the act. But about ready, the Bohs fans in great heart, the Shelbourne fans in terrific heart. If the second half is anything approaching the intensity, the pace of the first half, we're in for a memorable cup final. John Stacey with Desi Baker and Stephen Gagan. Everything ready, John? Yes, yes. And we're ready too. Have we only 11 aside? Yeah. Underneath it is Robbie Brunton, gently cushioning it back to Michael Dempsey. Tony O'Connell, club captain at Bohs. As I said last Sunday, they have actually three captains in this Bohs team. The club captain is Tony O'Connor. The captain for most of the season, that's Tony. The captain for most of the season has been Mark Dempsey. He missed 4 months with injury, during which time Paul Byrne took over, and it's Paul Byrne who is the captain tonight. That's Paul Byrne just ahead of the ball carrier there, number 7. Tony McCarthy, the defender. Behind Tony, just for insurance, is Declan Gagan. It's Pat Fenlon. The clearance. Marr got it away. Keddy got a touch on it. That's Brunton. Down as far as O'Connor, tricky customer. Gareth O'Connor, lovely close control. Out to Mark Dempsey, facing up to Owen Heary. Now it's Hunt. Clearance by Richie Baker. Nice layoff by Stephen Gagan, and Avery John got across to dispossess Richie Baker when his first touch let him down. Owen Heary's throw. Richie Baker can't do much with it. Here's Avery John. Loses out to Doolan. How many of those challenges and interception Doolan has made in a sparkling career? Brunton. Cleared by Mark Dempsey. That's Scully's header, and that's Fenlon's, and this is Doolan. Up goes Marr. Beating into it is Desi Baker. Now Avery John. Came off the head of Heary. Scully is back. Kelly is there. But the physical presence of Scully put Kelly off. Here's Gareth O'Connor. Nice little ball inside of Hunt. Good turn by Hunt. Dempsey. O'Connor, Gareth O'Connor. Now Robbie Brunton. You want somebody to come, drop off and come to it, but Doolan has seen all that before. Under the legs of Richie Baker. Beaten to it by Hunt. It was Owen Heary who cleared it for Shelburne. This is Owen Heary with the throw. Nicked on by Richie Baker. Shelburne looking for a big game tonight from the younger Baker. There he is, Richie. Just turned 20. Heary. Marr has it all as a centre-back. He's physically strong, he's quick, and he's a good footballer. Declan Gagan's clearance blocked down. It's Gareth O'Connor, an absolute thorn in Shelburne's side. Tony McCarthy doing the business again. He and Scully, magnificent in the centre-back positions for Shelburne. A goal separates the sides, but that's all. It's a really, really close game. Tony O'Connor nicking it in. Paul Byrne trying to get in. It's a good saving tackle again by McCarthy. Brunton for Bohs. Avery John. Steve Williams, never be forgotten by Shels fans, with 3 great saves in the drawn match. Avery John's header came off, and Avery John was being nudged there by Stephen Gagan, and it looks as though Bohs are getting a sub ready, and it's Derek Swan. Derek Swan getting ready to come into the Bohemian side.
I think it'll be Paul Byrne coming off, and I think then you'll see Gareth O'Connor going out wide and Derek Swan going up front. Let's see.
Derek Swan will come into the side, and Paul Byrne, the captain, is going off. He went off on Sunday too at Tulka Park. He applauds the fans. And Derek Swan is on. I should imagine, as Owen says, that O'Connor will go wide. But Swan is an acknowledged striker, a big finisher, whose long career has probably averaged a goal every 3 and a bit games. And that's what they need now. So they're going to play 2 up front, himself and Ray Kelly.
Well, I've seen Derek Swan come on as a substitute probably about 6 times this season, and he's scored in about 5 of them. So you've got to fancy, I mean, he had 2 excellent chances last Sunday. You've got to fancy he's going to have at least 1 good chance in this game. What's left in it? Of course, the big thing is, will he take it?
Gareth O'Connor has gone to an outside right position, if you wish, a wide midfield. Kelly and Swan together up front. Mark Dempsey stays at outside left midfield. Brunton. Dempsey. Throw in by Brunton. Off Swan. Back to Brunton. Flag is up. It's offside. That's Ray Kelly. Doesn't seem perturbed about the decision. 5 goals and a spectacular save from Williams in the cup for Kelly this season. Every John's headed clearance. Every John with Desi Baker. Hunt. Fenlon got in. Sharp little challenge there. Declan Gagan. Tony O'Connor here. Did very well to turn away from the would-be challenge of James Keddy. But it's Kelly who stayed at it. Throw in now for Bohemians. James Keddy started his career at UCD. Good spell at Derry. And has come back from a broken leg. Oh, actually not broken, but a terrible worse injury, cruciate medial. Baker nudges it back to Doolan. Heary. The run's been made by Richie Baker. He's quick, but so is every John. That is a superb tackle. Come on, centre half. That's a good one, Owen.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was. He had to have the timing and that perfect, or else it was a.
It was
certainly a problem for Richie Baker.
Richie Baker was the man. Owen Hand, the former Ireland centre-half, appreciates challenges like that.
Well, you see, he's totally committed here. But you see, Richie just got the little touch there. Richie had just touched him past him, and then I think he could have finished up in... Well, there's no rosette there, but...
That's Kevin Hunt. There's a handball. So the free kick for Shelburne about to be taken by Fenlon, who seems to have bought the franchise on all these free kicks for them. Pat Fenlon's free kick. Aimed towards Tony McCarthy. Tony got a piece on it. Marr cleared it. Then Caffrey just over the head of Tony O'Connor, and he had to pull back the Shels player Desi Baker. Tony knows. Desi Baker was nearly in. Bohs build the wall. Michael Dempsey sorts it out, and Fenlon will take it. Or will he leave it for Stephen? Fenlon joins the wall. Stephen Gagan goes for it. And Dempsey saw that come through a copse of legs. That may look bread and butter stuff, but that's a good save by Dempsey.
It is, yeah. Stephen Gagan, you see he gets a curl in it there, but he doesn't get enough power on it. So Michael Dempsey's able to get down low. It's still a hard one to take, but...
In midfield, it's Hunt. Ball's out of play.
Of course, the goal has had a massive influence on this game. You know, the tempo in the first half was, you know, from both sides. But now Shels are just, you know, they're saying, okay, they don't have to have the tempo up. They've got the goal, so they're inviting Bohs. Okay, look at you have the possession. We'll soak it up and we'll hit you on the break.
Tony O'Connor, Scully there again. Scully and McCarthy are just meshed together as a centre-back partnership. Very, very hard to break down. Can Swan and Kelly do it? And here is the chance for Swan to nudge one through, but the vigilance is good at the back. That's Hunt. Tony O'Connor.
It was ironic actually when Derek Swan tried to play that little ball through. It was Kevin Hunt, and of course it was Pat Fenlon tracking him. We're going to see a bit of that this half.
Tony McCarthy throws out a leg at it. Up as far as Desi Baker. Wide right where he might reasonably expect his brother to be, but Richie was reading one through the middle. Big jump by Scully. Bohs wanted a free kick, but the fans did, but the players who are right down there beside it, they didn't argue, and that's usually a good barometer. Terrific atmosphere at Daleyman Park. And Stephen Gagan, Desi Baker touching it past Brunton. Here's Hunt, looks for Tony O'Connor, and they'll go long. In at Kelly. Or Swan, up goes McCarthy. Maybe again Tony McCarthy. Now Robbie Brunton. Too much meat. Dermot's happy enough. As Dave Campbell just passed out of the shot. And Gary Haylock as well. Two of the Bohs subs this evening. Shels subs rather. Avery Johns clearance. Owen Heary. Kevin Hunt. That's Mara's header. Avery John was fouled, all right. Fouled by Gagan. As Mark Dempsey was fouled by Owen Heary.
Certainly there is not as much space available for Bohs when they're attempting to get forward now. Shels have tightened it up defensively, there's no doubt.
Tony O'Connor. Here's Tony O'Connor receiving it back from Garrett O'Connor. It's going to take one piece of Bohs magic to unlock Shelbourne now. The way these two guardians of the defence are working, that man there, Scully and McCarthy. The break is on here for Desi Baker. Avery John, it's another brilliant challenge. And he in turn loses it out to Richie Baker. But it's a Bohs ball. This man is a terrific tackler.
Yeah, tremendous pace, recovery pace we talk about. But you know, this actually the same ploy in the semi-final against Galway was a quick throw in, and actually Galway were punished with a goal by Desi Baker. A different situation with Avery John there.
Bohemians are getting ready. Glenn Crowe now. He was left out of the starting team last Sunday. He was left out of the starting team again tonight. Did come on as a sub then. Meantime, it's Richie Baker. Well killed by O'Connor. Here's Gareth O'Connor. Challenge in from Doolan, who hurt himself. But if Paul Doolan goes down, you know he's really hurt. Ordinary knocks don't seem to affect him at all. There's McCarthy's clearance. Comes to Hunt. Peter Brunton. Interception by Heary. Robbie Brunton's challenge. Desi Baker back to Heary. Making the little run here with Mar is Gagan. Doolan again. It was a foul by Caffrey.
Now, Stephen Caffrey's got to be careful there. It was a late challenge on Paul Doolan. Of course, he's on a yellow. Or both on
Paul.
yellow. Yeah.
This is the moment with Glenn Crowe waiting, where the Bohs front players are afraid to look at the bench in case it's their turn. It's a time when a footballer looks away anywhere but the manager's bench. But soon we're going to know who is it going to be. It's Ray Kelly who's going off, and Glenn Crowe to replace him. An out-and-out striker for an out-and-out striker. Of course he's disappointed. He wouldn't be a competitor if he wasn't.
Well, I think, Roddy, I mean, he had to do something because it's been very flat for Bohs. Like I said, Shels is just sitting back in there. So Ray Kelly, it hadn't been happening for him. I just feel they've lost it a bit since Gareth O'Connor has gone out wide. He was the fulcrum of a lot of the Bohemians' attack in that little space in front of the Shelbourne two middle defenders. And, you know, they've got to get a spark from somewhere.
Here he's throw. Runs back to Avery John if he wanted to. Scully. The pattern of the game has changed remarkably in this half, or maybe it's not remarkable, or maybe now we're going to have a change. It's Derek Swan and it's Declan Gagan. Great covering by Declan Gagan. There's Dempsey there in that challenge on Owen Heary, but Declan Gagan doing the job as the covering defender, which is as old as time itself, but it has to be done well. Kevin Hunt. The man who read it first was James Keddy. Chasing him is Gareth O'Connor. Just needed a firmer touch. This is Tony O'Connor. Mark Dempsey. Tony O'Connor. Gareth O'Connor. Declan Gagan is there. It's a good piece of play by Declan Gagan.
Now, this all started with a little mix-up between Tony Cardigan and Pat Scully, but Derek Swan's tried to hook it in there and try and find, I think it was Glenn Crowe.
Declan explained that he lost the flight of that ball in the lights. I wouldn't like to say that Paul Doolan is older than Declan. These fellas jealously guard their age. But Paul, we know, celebrated his 37th birthday a couple of weeks ago. Here's Gareth O'Connor. Glenn Crowe came off the Shels player, did it? Yes. Well, no, says the assistant. Kieran Delaney on that side.
But significantly, when Gareth O'Connor came inside there was 9 red shirts between him and the goal.
Shels have bolted the defensive door with their midfielders, which is not to suggest by any means that it's out and out hold on to what we have, because one goal. There's nothing to crow about. Talking about Crowe, that's Glenn. Back to Brunton. And again it's Scully. Great leader, terrific captain. Here we got in the challenge on Glenn Crowe. And Bohs bring their heavy hitters forward. That means Sean Maher and Avery John. There they are, just ambling into the penalty area. Left of screen. Tony McCarthy picking up Avery John. Dempsey. Can't get any pace on the cross there. Gareth O'Connor. And Doolan again with the headed clearance to Hunt. Altamar. Declan Gagan steaming in. Declan Gagan, a man who made his League of Ireland debut 13 seasons ago. And just guarding the citadel there is Pat Scully.
Well, Bohs are they're going to have to be very sharp in the last third to try and get something out of this match.
Pat Fenlon's goal that separates them, and Pat has recently been voted, as we told you earlier, the PFAI Player of the Year, and he's also been the Shels Supporters Player of the Year. And was runner-up for the Personality of the Year at the Soccer Writers Association. And the goal tonight. Well, some people are spoiled. Stephen Gagan back to Fenlon. Up to Desi Baker. Sean Maher was the one who eventually got it back to Dempsey. Declan Gagan. Really steaming into this game. Dermot Keely's team have put chains around the threats from Bohs. Here's Maher to Brunton. Scully was in quickly on Crow. It's Derek Swan. He was looking for a run on the right from Gareth O'Connor, but now what can Roddy do?
You just feel there, that ball was played to Derek Swan there. Don't try and get in too quick. I think that can be a mistake they could make in this game.
Keep cool, a long time to go in the match. Crow funneling it back. Underneath that is Heary. Out as far as Desi Baker. And there's a lot of acres ahead of him here, and his brother Richie has come onto it. Richie Baker, can he wrap the game up? Oh, it's a great save by Dempsey. Dempsey was out on the penalty mark. That's a very good save. That'll lift the spirit of Roddy Collins' team as the Bakers went in tandem to wrap up the cup.
It's a really early break by by Richie Baker. As Desi's on the ball here, and Richie made the run so early, and he's just outpacing there, you see, and he just likes to flick it outside the foot there, but the goalkeeper is able to get a hand across to it. And of course, that's typical Shelbourne play. Very quick break.
Very good goalkeeping too by Michael Dempsey. He had to get it just right there. He could only come so far, and he did exactly right. Very good. That's Tony O'Connor to take the free kick for Bohemians. Looking for Caffrey in there, who got it onto it. It's going to go dead for a goal kick.
There was a lot of good things there. It was excellent goalkeeping by, but you see it was Desi Baker. But if we looked across here, Richie had made it from so deep. You see Richie here, just the one touch, and he has to flick it with the outside of the foot. You see, excellent.
Avery John was in the running for man of the match last Sunday. He's in the running for it again tonight. Some of his tackling and his general defending has been outstanding.
Yet ironically, you've got to say Stephen Gagan is having an excellent game.
Goes over John's head. Nicely taken by Desi Baker to Richie Baker. Pushes it past John. The covering player is Sean Maher. He let it go for a goal kick. Well, he made a run of 50 metres there, and in the end a little spurt of 10 to try and recover possession. He's a menace. Up goes Caffrey, down went Doolan. Challenge from Fenlon. Good play by Keddy. Declan Gagan. Just a little too much steam on it for Desi Baker. Goal kick.
Whilst it's very interesting to watch that midfield duel there, the Kevin Hunt and Stephen Caffrey, when they had to, they curtailed the Fenlon-Doolan partnership. But now the roles are reversed. And of course now they've got to get the other side of Pat Fenlon and Paul Doolan, and so far they are not succeeding in that department.
I'm just wondering how sore that foot of Kevin Hunt is becoming, because he seems to be going into his shell just a little bit.
I don't think that would be a factor, Jimmy. You know, once you've started the game, a bruise, it was a bruise, it wasn't a strain or anything like that.
He had a lot of pain, and I can probably be certain to say if it were an ordinary league game, he would not be playing tonight. Dempsey for Bohs, the covering player. Well, if you said a tone Pat Scully for the umpteenth time, you'd be right. A brilliant match against Galway United in the semi-final, and equally so tonight. Here's Derek Swan, pulling it away from Tony McCarthy, teasing Tony, looking for the corner. John Stacey knew that, and John saw it every inch of the way. Goal kick.
Yes, and I think the referee got it right there. It was Derek that had the last touch. But again, you know, there's the man in question. There's John Stacey. What another excellent game he's having. This cup final has flowed, and you've got to give him real credit, Jimmy. He's handled it really well.
John Stacey from Athlone, he's been better than good on Sunday and Wednesday. Now back to Dempsey, and it's Desi Baker in there, making up his mind for him, forcing him into the hurry clearance. The two Bakers and Gagan dropping off. The defensive work of the forward players is top-notch, no doubt about that. Here's Hunt, out towards O'Connor. Paul Doolan slotting in behind, picking up the pieces, reading the dangers. This time it's gone over his head, and here's Hunt for Bohs. Lovely little ball out for Dempsey. There might be something here, but he can't pull it round Owen Heary to make the cross. He'll be disappointed.
That is disappointing, because, you know, Kevin Hunt is trying to get free there in midfield. He did make the little break. He played a good ball out to Mark Dempsey. It was a 1-against-1 situation. He wanted him to take him on, but it was just, you know, when he hits it, just wasted ball there. Well, you know, your point about, you know, Shels forwards, that's been the case all season. I mean, that's a Dermot Keeley trait, if you like. I mean, everybody, when you have to defend, everybody defends. And it took him a while to get that principle into the side, but it's very evident right now.
Stephen Gagan brilliantly survives a push on the back from Avery John. This is Desi Baker showing it and then teasing Sean Maher, but Maher ain't no fool. Well done, Sean Maher. Only out as far though as Heary. Avery John stops it. Tony McCarthy reads the situation well. It's a game for Bohemians at the moment of extreme urgency. Doolan slotting in behind the midfield, picking up the pieces, showing everything he's got as a great player. And that's a foul by Fenlon on Hunt. Oh, Pat is annoyed with himself and with John Stacey. Figures it was a dive, we shall see.
Now, you see, the referee is only 5 yards away, so I mean, he's frustrated, I think, is Pat Fenlon.
No Paul Byrne, the captain is off now. So Bohs, what Bohs options are there? Well, there's Dempsey there, there's Hunt there, but more likely, I think, Robbie Brunton to hit one here in his left foot.
We fancy from that distance. It needs a lot of power to beat Steve Williams.
It is Brunton. But I think Roddy's entitled to be frustrated because it took so long to do the whole thing that the element of surprise was gone.
Yeah, in the end he kind of rushed at it, and I mean, he's never got around. You see, he flashes the foot across it. It's like the slice in golf.
In goes Declan Gagan. He's had a great second half. Tony O'Connor for Bohs. Just a goal in it. This will be played to a finish this evening. Telling you that in case Bohs do come back into it, and they most certainly have not thrown in the towel. Why should they? They've had a terrific season too. Ball's dropped to Derek Swan. Derek Swan looking for O'Connor to cross it early, then across the face of the goal. Crow couldn't get to it, Dempsey couldn't get to it, and it ends up being a throw-in for Shelburne. Well, how close can you go?
It was a great cross by young Gareth O'Connor here, and you see it's Glenn Crowe, but more particularly maybe Stephen Caffrey, who might have just thrown himself at it, just it needed a touch. See a lovely cross in, early cross. Stephen Caffrey there, you see him, just the expression on his face tells it all.
Good close control by Swan. Out to Dempsey. Brunton being challenged by Desi Baker. Just cleared by Declan Gagan there. That's Fenlon. Avery John being pressed here by Stephen Gagan.
I think the instructions be coming from Roddy Collins that they've got to get down the flanks there. It's so important against the Shelburne defence, and as happened there, get some crosses in. Opportunity came to Mark Dempsey, he made a mess of one, but that last cross, excellent one from Gareth O'Connor.
Hasn't it? A foul by Doolan, who made it back for Mark Dempsey, and that's been construed as such by the referee John Stacey. So Bohs go quickly. Brunton to Hunt, to Caffrey, O'Connor Tony. Avery John up with the front players. Was he pushed or did he fall? He fell. It's Derek Swan looking for through for Crowe, and Williams with the foot save. Fantastic atmosphere here at Dailyman Park.
Certainly Bohs have upped the tempo. They know they have to. There's 15 minutes left, and there's going to be a lot of pressure put on that Shels defence, there's no doubt. I just feel that, my comment earlier on, I've never yet seen Derek Swan this season not have at least one clear chance.
Derek Swan indeed. What a run he's had. I think it's 26 substitution appearances he's made this season in all competitions. It's a record of its sort. Swan. Back for Brunton. Keeper was going to come, decides to stay. Going to drop out for Sean Marr. He needs support. But in quickly is Gagan. The way he drops off and works. Now in the midfield role. John has gone up with the front players. Gagan has to come back and defend him. Bohs with a fantastic degree of urgency. Here's Hunt. Good play, Kevin Hunt. Now Robbie Brunton. It reaches Derek Swan. Oh, and here he got in the challenge. And here's Doolan. Up the line, looking for Desi Baker. Oh, the footwork of Michael Dempsey, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say he knew exactly what he was doing.
Well, when Paul Doolan broke with that ball, if he had it up the left, Stephen Gagan was completely clear on the far side. You see Michael Dempsey here. This is a little lapse of concentration there.
Tony McCarthy realised that Swan was behind him threatening and didn't allow it run to the keeper, which is what Swan would have liked. Desi Baker's little flick on, looking for Gagan. Marr. He's had a great match too. It's one difficult evening to pick a manly match. Richie Baker back to Paul Doolan. Richie Baker again. Bohs ball. Brunton with the throw. Marr. Over Avery John. Did he push Stephen Gagan? John. Stacey says no. Oh, that's one hefty challenge by Brunton on Harry.
That was a very rash challenge there. We know it's a cup final, but
A yellow card for Robbie Brunton. And I don't think Robbie is too surprised at that himself.
he was never going to get that.
Yeah, it was a trifle late. If he was going for the bus, he'd miss work. Fenlon's free kick. Cleared by Sean Marr. Dempsey back towards Brunton. Good work again up front there by Gagan. Now can Bohs lift the siege. Gareth O'Connor. It's Hunt. Avery John. Mark Dempsey. John goes forward into an inside left position. Doolan reads that as well. He's had a great game as well, Paul Doolan. The pace of Marr was the winner there, and he can judge that because Desi Baker, the opposition, is a very pacey player. Heary. Scully beaten in the air by Swan. And whilst we're at this moment, I think it's worth mentioning the general behaviour of Owen Heary after that challenge by Brunton. He didn't get up and look for blood. Well done, Heary.
Well, you know, I've nothing but admiration for Owen Heary. I think he's perhaps the most improved player in the National League. He's had an excellent season.
With a hard act to follow, and the man who went before him at right back, Greg Costello. Tony O'Connor back to Michael Dempsey. Shels come looking for it. The goal that might wrap it up. It's James Keddy. He can buy time out there. But that's a precious commodity, particularly for Bohemians. Ball given away. Pat Fenlon. Gagan. Fenlon made the run. James Keddy had come in. Gareth O'Connor. Ball drops for Shels kindly and then unkindly. Avery John with it to break out. Looking for Glenn Crowe. Good strength by Crowe, good skill too. Gareth O'Connor, covered by Fenlon, who's had a splendid match. Gareth O'Connor's cross. The step down to Glenn Crowe, but it was just going away on the angle from John across the middle. And what a frustrating time for Hunt, Swan and company.
Well, it's Kevin Hunt who gets on the end of this, but he just doesn't get enough power in it. There was another little stanza there. You see there's a good challenge, brave challenge by Kevin Hunt. But of course he's under pressure from the big men of the Shels.
Robbie Brunton is going off the Bohemians team. Graham Doyle is coming into it. And Graham Doyle, I should imagine, would be one of the penalty kickers should it go to penalty. Right now we're 3 minutes of normal time to go. Mark Dempsey for Bohemians. Glenn Crowe, Declan Gagan to shepherd it back. That's Tony McCarthy. I'm sure everyone watching has made up their mind about man of the match. There's so many contenders this evening. I wish we had water or crystal to give it to every one of them.
Well, you know, we've been thinking about man of the match,
but there's hardly time to think because this game is just crowded with incidents. That was Kenny's cross, looking for Baker. You were saying on?
Well, you know, thinking about the man of the match, you know, who to give it to. And I think we can't look beyond the goal scorer because, you know, you think about Pat Fenlon, he hasn't had, you know, say a Sunday he was played out of it, but the professionalism and the contribution, of course, the goal as it looks is going to be the winning of the match. So that's...
I concur. Pat Fenlon has just been named the Harplager Man of the Match. The goal scorer, the Professional Footballers Association Player of the Year, the Shelburne Supporters Player of the Year, the goal scorer in this cup final. He's only one of many who have adorned this replay at Dalymount Park. But it's not over yet. Caffrey for Bohs. Look at the channel one through for Derek Swan. Good turn by Swan. The old experience comes sliding up the boot there of Declan Gagan. And the pressure stays on.
But when you see Owen Heary here, the cover defence is brilliant by Owen Heary. And what an important stop here. There's the turn by Derek Swan. And he just gets it. It feeds in here. You see, look at the recovery by Owen Heary.
Terrific. Using both feet to get them out of trouble. Now, Dempsey. Nice pace on that. Look at the crowd in there. It's like Christchurch on New Year's Eve. And Steve Williams holds it up for all to see, including, most importantly, the match officials, that it hadn't crossed the line. How close was it?
Graham Doyle just hits it. Glenn Crowe gets up here, but it's not a power header. Or it's Stephen Caffrey just heads it in there. And Steve Williams there, as cool as you like.
Or pretending to be.
Or pretending to be.
Yes. What a match save that was. I'm nearly going to say winning because it ain't over yet. This Bohs team full of fire. They've really played magnificently. Back to Sean Marr. Avery John. Baker gets in a challenge. Helped out by the other Baker. And Desi gives it back to Ritchie. Look at the pace of Sean Marr. Oh, magnificent. Wonderful defending by Marr. He looks absolute premiership class. Not just Premier National League either.
I don't think there was another central defender in the country that would have reached that ball.
Declan Gagan stretching out to stop the onward flow. Dave Campbell is going to come into the Shelburne team. And Paul Doolan, who played a lot of games for just an hour this season, goes off, and he deserves the applause. A man well loved in his time here when he was a Bohemians player. Well loved for Shelburne. Only a couple of minutes away from his 5th Cup and League double. And Shelburne only the same couple of minutes away from the first ever Cup and League double for this famous club that was founded in the closing stages of the 19th century.
And the 3 minutes have gone up. We've got to...
Williams has to commit himself here, and does, like a good keeper. It's a game that deserves more than the one goal it has.
And it also deserves more than one man of the match, but... full credit to Pat Fenlon for sticking at it, and that's, as I say, great credit. It was a hell of a battle in there for him.
Shelburne have won the Cup in 1939, 1960, 1963, 1993, 1996, 1997. They're within about a minute of it again. but Bohs just at one goal behind. Here's Scully, challenged by Avery John. That's crunch time in Finsborough, and Avery John could be in trouble here. He was in trouble against Bray in the semi-final, and very lucky not to see a red and a yellow card. It is Graham Doyle, the man who has his number taken. Pat Scully limps away. He's a terrific player too.
Well, I mean, it was great commitment there. The ball was to be won. There's no doubt about it. Pat Scully showed an awful lot of bravery.
Penman's free kick out to Desi Baker. In goes Avery John again.
Avery John, for once, that tackle on Pat Scully was just mistimed, deserved the yellow. But again, credit to the referee, John Stacey. He's had an excellent game.
The cup final of 2000 has been, I think, a very good ad for the Aircom League, the Harp-Lager Cup for domestic football. Knocked on by Keddy. And Heary, that ball's gone dead. Graham Doyle tries to play on, but it's gone over the line. And we're almost there. Dermot Keeling. Oh, another one to defend Dermot.
I think that's kind of the eyes up about Owen Heary there, because Owen Heary kind of gave a needless foul, if you like. It was a jersey tug, but again, the referee spotted it.
I think everybody bought the Bohs committees in the penalty area now. Dempsey. There's too much pushing going on in there. Referee John Stacey. The innocent face of Graham Doyle doesn't cut any ice. The board said 3. We're closing on to 4 now as Dempsey takes it. And the clearance is made. And the clearance was made by the man of the match. He scored the goal and he got the final clearance. And if you want any more than that for evidence, ladies and gentlemen, Dermot Keely's made history. The first Shelburne manager ever to lead them to a double. And Pat Fenton has cleaned the boards and the awards for the year 2000. Marvellous match, full of vitality, full of effort. Bohemians played their part, none more so than their marvellous centre-half, Sean Maher. But there's a man who was brilliant too, Stephen Gagan. Great ad, as I said. Keely's the hero, the personality of the year. Penman is the goal scorer, and Shelburne have won the double for the first time ever, and the cup for a 7th time. Great stuff, home.
Oh, it was typical Shelburne. I mean, they went about this game, I mean, the way they have sort of gone about winning the league, a very professional approach. I mean, the first half was absolutely tremendous. The way they soaked up the Bohemians. Bohemians gave it their full lot. They might have had 1 or 2 in the first half. They might have had 1 last Sunday, only for Steve Williams. But there were so many heroes out there tonight. It was very difficult to pick the man of the match. You know, Jimmy, we were thinking about it and trying to do it, and I think we got it right, because you know, Pat Fenton probably he typifies the Shelburne spirit. You know, he never felt the game, but then suddenly he's got the winner.
Charlie McGeever, Darren Maloney, audio only, gentlemen.
Well, what a sight that is, Charlie. Shelburne, first ever league and cup double, a great achievement for them.
Absolutely, Darren. It's hard to believe that this is the first time that's happened, given the history of this great club. But really in the second half, I think Bohs really never threatened to break them down. Defensively, they were superb. I thought the Twin Towers and centre defence were absolutely superb throughout the match, Scully and McCarthy, and deservedly won in the end.
Very disappointing night. We just saw a shot of Roddy Collins there.
Yeah, I think Roddy will be disappointed, particularly in the second half. They had to put it up the Shels. They never looked like breaking them down. But the occasion itself there was absolutely superb, particularly on the terraces. The atmosphere from both ends, the Shels one end, Bohs the other end, made for what was a great occasion.
Well, we were just talking about it. People talk about facilities, but when you have people and a lot of people and a lot of noise at a game like this, it really makes the occasion, doesn't it?
It does, of course, and I think at the end, the first half set the tone. And this beautiful Jody stand built here last year, the noise wasn't coming from there. It was coming from the terraces where the ordinary punters were on it, and made, as I say, for a great occasion. Even though the second half didn't create that many chances, the atmosphere was absolutely fabulous.
Once Shelburne got that goal, and it came in the first half against the run of play, Bohemians had a good spell, but really in the back of your mind you always thought that Bohemians would struggle to break them down, and they did.
Well, over the season there, we've seen Shelbourne keep so many clean sheets. It's been their tradition over the season to keep clean sheets. Steve Williams, another one to add to his collection. And really, at the end of the day, I felt that Richie Baker had one absolutely marvellous chance to put the game beyond them on the breakaway, which unfortunately he didn't. But here we see them picking up the cup, and really, Pat Fenlon again, a very worthy winner of the man of the match.
Let's go back up to Jimmy McGee. Thanks, Charlie.
There he is, one of the terrific players of Irish football, Pat Fenlon, and that's to go with the rest of the honours, because he won an IFA Cup medal, 2 of them actually, with Linfield in the Irish League, and he gets the Man of the Match award. But there's one bigger award for the club that's cleaned up this year. Richie Baker, the Young Player of the Year; Pat Fenlon, the Players Player of the Year; Dermot Keeley, the Personality of the Year. But if I had a piece of water with crystal own hand to give to a member of the losing team, Sean Maher would be a lay-down cert.
Sean Maher, yeah, he's an excellent player. I mean, he graces the National League. You know, he's as I said, pace, of course, but he's so cool under pressure, and it's a shame, of course, there has to be losers, because it really was a great, the 2 games, an excellent year of well, cup games, but the cup finals, the 2 of them were excellent, I thought. This one, of course, surpassed last Sunday.
Well, that's the new Jody stand, and it's a credit to the team here. And here's Bohemians coming up. There's Sean Maher, the aforementioned, the great veteran Derek Swan, whose testimonial year it is. And in fact, I think next Monday they're having a golf outing out at Hollymount for Derek, and then Tranmere Rovers will be here in July to play for him. It's a medal, it's disappointing, but it's fair to say, I know it's a cliche, but they truly have graced this cup final. Pat Quigley, the president of the Football Association of Ireland. That's Graham Doyle. Wayne Russell, who fixed the net.
There's that man there, Gareth O'Connor. He deserves a special mention. He had a tremendous first half, and I think perhaps moving him out wide, you know, the Bohemians lost a little bit of their inventiveness. He was creating an awful lot of problems in that other role. There's Kevin Hunt making his way up, and he had another great game as well.
He was wonderful. Played with an injury that would knock most people out. It's nearly time for the Red celebration. Tony McCarthy, great centre-half. Shelbourne have won the championship. Shelbourne have won the cup. That's Dave Campbell. Just before him there was Stephen Gagan and Richie Baker. Then Declan Gagan. Pat Scully is the captain. A man who was capped for Ireland 1 time against Tunisia, 11, 12 years ago. Paul Doolan, he's terrific. 5 doubles Paul Doolan has won.
What an achievement. Bit of history here tonight as well, Jimmy. It's the presentation, first one in the new Jody stand here.
And the first man to receive the cup, Bohemians stand, they were hoping would be their own man. But alas, no. Dermot Keeley going over, that's the John Powell, Gary Haylock, and Pat Scully waits for his very special moment. A lovely man, Pat Scully, and a great centre-half.
A very, very steady player, and of course, man of the match down in the semi-final against Galway.
And he wants his team to share the occasion and not to elevate the cup on his own. The double for Shelbourne. Shelbourne in their 17th final, and it's victory for them. Pat Scully is the captain on the night. It's too hackneyed to say Captain Fantastic, but we'll say it anyway. Darren Maloney.
Thanks, Jimmy. Roddy Collins is here with me. Roddy, you still have a smile on your face, but disappointed, I'm sure.
I'm bitterly disappointed, you know, but at the end of the day, I thought it was a great season. And we were beaten by the best team in the league. They've won the double. Congratulations to them. Damon O'Neill, congratulations. All the supporters, you know, I thought it was a good game. Big crowd in Dailyman. It's a start for us.
You said to me at half-time that even though you were a goal down, that you thought you'd played well, and you did play well up until that goal. You had plenty of chances.
Well, you know, goals changes games. I thought we were doing very well. If we could have nicked one when we were in that little spell, you know, that's what changes games. But fair play to them. They got a great goal. You know, they held on to well. We're a bit deep to start the second half. We threw caution to the win. We could have nicked one, but you know, I mean, at the end of the day, if you play a team 5 times and you can't beat them, you've got to stand up and accept they're the best team in the country. You know?
All right, Roddy, thanks a lot. Commiserations. Good to see Roddy Collins is still smiling. We'll be talking to the winning manager. We'll have more analysis from Dalymount after this commercial break. Stay with us.
The Premiership, Saturdays 10:25 RTE1.
Well, we seem to have a little problem with that Dermot Keeley interview, which was recorded a few moments ago. As you can imagine, absolute bedlam here at Dalymount Park. Big celebrations for Shelbourne. They won the double. Commiserations for Bohemians. It'll be a quiet journey home for them, but they have done well to get here after the trauma of last season's playoff. Charlie McGeever is still with me. Charlie, it's been a good night.
It's been a great night, a great week actually. I thought Sunday's match, or Saturday's match, a very good match tonight as well. But this is all about Shelbourne. They've been so close, the bridesmaids for the last number of years, and again tonight we see them coming away with the double. It's really been their season, Dara.
Over the 2 games, do you think they've deserved it?
I think so. I think both as an attacking force and as a defensive force. We saw them in their attacking force, I think, last weekend. Tonight, I think we saw them better as a defensive force. Bohs never looked like breaking down the second half, Dara, and I think it's well merited.
OK, Charlie, it's been good to have you with us this evening. We have to leave you. We're right out of time. Shelbourne have made history. They've won the double. Till next season, bye-bye.